General Hospital spoilers reveal an angry and exasperated mother, a weepy college student, accusations galore, and so much more. You won't want to miss a moment of this action-packed new episode. It took about a week, in real time, not Port Charles time, but Carly, Laura Wright, finally sees just how far gone her two adult children are. She knew they weren't happy with Sonny, Maurice Bernard, after the divorce, but she had no idea they were willing to let him rot in jail for the rest of his life for the sin of loving someone besides her. To that end, Carly takes Michael, Chad Duell, up to the hospital roof for a private confrontation and tells Michael to drop it now. She wants peace just as much as Willow, Caitlin McMullen, but unlike Willow, Carly is not willing to let Sonny go to jail for Carly's sake. She asks Michael to think long and hard about this one question: would he put the life of someone he loves in Sonny's hands? Michael is going to have to answer that honestly. As for Jocelyn, Eden McCoy, nothing that Carly said seemed to penetrate her Dex-addled brain. She thinks it's all over now and Dex, Evan Hofer, is going to be stuck with Sonny forever and ever. She begs him to just quit, but Dex won't do it. Will he leave Joss to her own devices? Does he know that can't be a good thing? Ned, Wally Kurth, could barely believe his ears when he heard Martin, Michael E. Knight, and Nina, Cynthia Watrous, talking about her being the one to tip off the SEC about Carly and Drew, Cameron Matheson. He confronts her on the terrace and Nina doesn't quite know what to say. Will she admit it's true and try to defend herself or deny all wrongdoing? Meanwhile, Tracy, Jane Elliott, is back at the pool with Drew, and he tells her that she is the answer to his problems. Tracy doesn't believe that, and instead she accuses Drew of wrongdoing. Anna, Finola Hughes, may not be charged with treason, but she is still in a lot of trouble and is about to find herself unemployed. Valentin, James Patrick Stewart, is desperate to find her and talk to her, but is having no luck. Dante, Dominic Zamprogna, also wants to help Anna and asks for someone to help her out. Anna is grateful for the support, but is also steaming mad that her past has returned to haunt her due to Victor Cassadine, Charles Shaughnessy. The General Hospital recap features Nina Reeves freaking out before it gets much worse for her. In this episode, Ned heard a stunning conversation between Nina, Cynthia Watrous, and Martin. Upstairs at the pool, Drew met with his lawyer and made a decision. Later, Jordan learned the lawyer she slept with was Portia's brother. Carly and Jocelyn had it out, leaving Jocelyn in tears, while Willow was willing to throw Sonny under the bus. As for Sonny, he had some conversations with Valentin and Dex. Finally, Elizabeth got the news she had been waiting for. Now let's dig a little deeper into the details. Martin, Michael E. Knight, and Valentin, James Patrick Stewart, met up at the Metro Court as Valentin worried sick about Anna, Finola Hughes. Martin assured Valentin that Anna was just fine, which was a good thing since he got a text from his pikeman contact. Nina, Cynthia Watrous, interrupted Valentin and Martin to talk about what happened to Anna, but Valentin soon left, leaving a nervous Nina alone with Martin. Nina was alarmed when Martin wanted to talk alone because he had bad news. The feds subpoenaed his phone records and computer to try to find out who his informant was when he tipped off the SEC. Nina looked like she was going to have a coronary, especially when Martin reminded her that the feds wanted Carly, Laura Wright, to flip on Sonny, Maurice Bernard, Ned, Wally Kurth, and Olivia, Lisa Locicero, enjoyed some close time at the Metro Court, celebrating the fact that Olivia now trusted her husband. When Nana heard that, she feared she'd be in the hot seat next. Nina was further freaked out when Olivia told her that Sonny didn't think it was Ned either. Once alone, Olivia told Ned of her plan to find the person who called the SEC, whom she called the guilty party. Ned reminded his wife that Drew, Cameron Matheson, and Carly were actually the guilty parties here. Later, when Ned was wandering by the terrace, he heard Martin assuring Mena that nobody would learn she was the SEC informant. Jordan, Tanisha Harper, and Zeke, Gavin Houston, enjoyed their time in bed, and Jordan told this mysterious stranger that what they just did was exactly what they just needed. Sadly, Drew interrupted them with a phone call because it turned out Zeke was his new lawyer in the SEC case. Zeke and Drew met at the pool bar, where Drew shocked his new lawyer by telling him he wanted to turn himself in. He wanted to testify that he was the one who told Carly to buy the shares, even though that was a lie. Zeke did his best to talk him out of it. Scout barely remembered who he was, so he didn't see an issue with going to jail, but he wasn't going to let Sonny and Carly's kids be without them. Say what? Drew convinced Zeke to formulate a deal, but not to finalize it. He still had an ace up his sleeve. Blackmailing Ned to recant the tip, even though he was not the tipster. Once alone, Drew called Tracy and asked to meet. Zeke later met up with Jordan at the Metro Court restaurant, where she returned his room key, but as she got on the elevator to leave, Portia, Brooke Kerr, and Elizabeth, Rebecca Herbst, walked in, and Jordan heard Portia introduce Zeke as her brother. Carly remained in her kitchen, staring at the flash drive with the Pikeman shipment video on it. When Jocelyn Eden McCoy walked in, Carly told her she knew everything Michael, Chad Duell, had been up to for the last year. Jocelyn did her best to play dumb, but Carly was furious at this point. Well, Jocelyn was also furious because Michael chickened out on turning Sonny in. As Joss talked about finishing Sonny off, Carly realized once again how far off into the stratosphere her two adult kids are about her ex-husband. Jocelyn demanded that her mother have the courage to do what Michael couldn't, and all Carly could do was shake her head. So Jocelyn made her excuses. She had to save Dex, Evan Hofer, and Carly, so it was all altruistic. Carly did her best to explain to this young and naive woman that turning in a mob kingpin is a lot more complicated than it sounds. Besides, Jocelyn's blind hate towards Sonny was frightening Carly, and she begged Joss to put the vendetta behind her. All Jocelyn could do was cry and weep that Sonny was a criminal, and Carly sighed that she didn't raise her daughter to be this knave. Jocelyn countered that she once believed Sonny used his power for good, but didn't believe that anymore. All she could see now was that Sonny brought pain to her family. Jocelyn then played the Morgan card to remind her mother what Sonny's line of work has done to her children. Carly didn't want to hear it and immediately threw the flash drive on the floor and stomped on it till it was in pieces. That just caused Jocelyn to freak out, drop to the floor, and pick up all the pieces. She then accused her mother of condemning Dex to a life with Sonny, so Carly told Joss she had to leave and fix this mess on her own. So she made her way to the hospital to confront Michael. As for Jocelyn, well, she wept in Dex's arms, dramatically wailing that it was all over for them now because there was no way out. At GH, Michael was actually allowed into the room with Willow, Caitlin McMullen, and she knew something was bugging her husband. He finally told her about using the Pikeman video to save Carly. Willow decided that to save Carly, using the video was just fine. At his office, Sonny told Dex that he believed that Ned wasn't the one who tipped off the SEC about Carly and Drew's insider trading mess. Sonny was still convinced the entire thing was to get Carly to flip on him, and Drew was just collateral damage. Sonny then veered to the subject of Dex stopping abuse by punching his superior officer in the service, and Sonny admitted how impressed with that he still was. He even told Dex he saw potential in him and could give him a better spot in his organization, a place where he belonged. Valentine then showed up to tell Sonny that the Pikeman group was ready for another shipment, but Sonny wasn't. He still wanted answers about who ambushed him at his warehouse, shooting Dex in the arm. Valentine didn't have any information for him, so Sonny didn't want to work with Pikeman anymore. Valentine finally convinced Sonny to allow another shipment. Portia just wanted Elizabeth to join her for a drink after work to gossip and let off some steam, but Liz complained she had extra work and had to stay late. She was helping Bobby, the late Jacqueline Zeman, who was pulling double duty as head nurse and head surgical nurse. Soon Terry, Cassandra James, and Finn, Michael Easton, arrived at the nurse's station to tell her that she was now going to be head nurse, just as Epiphany, Sonia Eddy, and Monica Leslie Charlson wanted. Elizabeth was obviously thrilled and could barely believe her ears. She quickly called Audrey, Rachel Ames, to tell her she would be following in her footsteps as head nurse.